welcome. Today's session is going to focus on stretches for the hips. So we will target both the outer hips, so that's along your glutes and your thighs, and then the inner hips, which is really like the groin. So typically, most bodies will have a range of motion that favors one of those areas. Unless you're like really limber, then maybe it's both. But for most people, it's easier to move in one direction than the other. And the direction that's more difficult doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to stretch that area. We still definitely should. Just as you're coming into it, it might take some blocks or pillows, a little bit more support to find ease in the shape. So as we get ready to come into it, grab a blanket. You can be on a mat or just something soft and comfortable. I have a block with me. If you have a block, that would be helpful, but a pillow off of your couch or your bed totally works as well. And then we'll start in a seated position. So start sitting up in any comfortable seat. You can put a block underneath you or sit up against a wall. And then you can often tell about how your hips are feeling just by the ease of being in a seat. You know, there's a lot of things that play into coming into a comfortable seat. Of course, there's the low back, what you're sitting on, all of those things, but a lot of your seat has to do with your hips, especially if you're seated directly on the ground. And from your seat, you're going to take the soles of your feet together and your knees out wide. And so here's a stretch where we start to get the inside of the hips and the groin. And then you'll start to bow forward to the degree that you feel the stretch happening. And if you start to bow forward and you still feel nothing, then you're going to take your heels and you're bringing them closer to your body. When I do that, this is the side for me where I'm very tight. So when I bring my heels in, that's too much for me. I'm going to bring my heels a little bit further out and start to bow forward. And I'm going to take my block. I'm going to place my block on top of my feet, and I'm going to rest my forearms on top as I lean into the stretch. And so you want to be able to feel something happening. You know, it's interesting. You're called to pay attention to your body, but you're not suffering. There's no pain involved in it. And then start to lift your head and your heart up. And it's just a counter stretch to folding forward. So a lot of these hip openers are forward folds. So we'll be doing a counter stretch on the flip side of each one. You're going to take your feet down to the ground, plant your hands on the ground, and lift your hips up. If it feels good, you can take your right ankle, cross the right ankle over the left thigh, just press the knee down as you press the left heel more into the earth. And then switch sides if you're doing that. And come back down. Good. And then from here, you're going to take your left leg long. And then you're going to take your right foot and bring the right foot into the left elbow crease. Bring your right hand around. And now I'm cradling my right calf and shin. It's like I'm holding a baby or something. I guess this isn't how I hold a baby, but you're just cradling your leg and swaying side to side, starting to open up the right hip. So now we're working the outside, and we're going to work the right hip in a few stages. So we're starting here, cradling the leg, rocking. Most folks are pretty tight in the hips, so hopefully you feel something here. Good. And then from here, you'll take the right foot, place the right foot on the outside of the left thigh, and just come into a twist. So you're twisting over to the right side of your body. Just continuing to open this side up, prepare it for what's next. Okay. So from here, we're going to come into double pigeon. You're going to bend the left knee. So the left knee is on the ground. And then take your right shin and stack the right shin on top of the left shin. So like this, basically. And if your right knee is lifted, that's okay. That's not a problem as long as there's no pain happening in the knee. And then you'll start to bow forward to the degree that you get a stretch through the right hip. So I like to take my forearms onto my leg and start to bow my head forward. If you feel this stretch here, just from a sitting up right, you can stay right here. You don't have to bow forward. And start to lift up. Again, you'll take your legs out long just to release. You can shake the legs. Keep the legs flat on the ground. Keep the hips flat on the ground. Hands behind you. And then just lift the chest towards the ceiling. The pelvis orients up. If it feels okay for your head, you can take your head back. Good. And then release, come up. And we'll change sides now. So working on the left hip. You'll take the sole of the left foot, bring it into the right elbow crease, and then cradle the left leg. And start to sway side to side. And then you'll take your left foot to the outside of your right thigh and twist over to the left. Come back to the center. So here we'll come into double pigeon on the other side. Right shin bone down. Left shin bone stacks on top. You can either stay sitting upright or start to bow forward until you feel the stretch through the left hip. And then start to lift up. Again, take the legs long. Yep. So give the knees a little break. You can point and flex the feet. Hands behind you. Pelvis orients up. Chest lifts. Okay, so now we've got the outer hips. We're going to come back to inner hips. And for this, you're going to want to be by a wall, because the way we're going to stretch the inner hips, the groin, is we're going to take the legs up the wall and then split them wide. So I'm conveniently right by a wall. I'm going to take my legs up and I'm going to bring my butt all the way. Make sure you can see me. I'm going to take my butt all the way up to the wall and then start to bring my legs wide until I can start to feel the stretch. And for me, that's about here. And so I'm just going to stop and hang out here. You might be able to take your legs further out to the right and left. Maybe they're a little bit more narrow. Only you're going to know based on that place where you start to feel the interesting stretch. You can rest your hands anywhere that's comfortable. And gravity is really going to do the work here in helping you find the stretch. You want to enter this stretch at a place where you feel a little something, but not too much of something, because it's probably going to intensify as we lay here. And take 5 more breaths here. And when you're done with your 5 breaths, start to make your way out of this shape and up into a seat. You can definitely use your hands to bring your legs back together. And then once you're up in your seat, bring your thumbs to your forehead. And Nama is name, stay is same. So my name is your name. We are all the same. We bow forward together and say Namaste.